Hello, welcome to Vantage Views. I'm your host today, Dawn Meglin. I'm the Senior Director of Community Engagement with VANTAGE Aging, headquartered in Akron, Ohio. Our mission is to promote a positive perspective on aging, and we do that with a variety of programs that help older adults to age successfully at home. Those programs include the job training program in 38 Ohio counties, including here in Medina, called the Senior Community Service Employment Program. Meals on Wheels of Northeast Ohio, serving Summit, Stark, and Wayne counties. RSVP of Summit and Medina counties, which is a volunteer program here locally, helping 55 and older adults reach out to community's greatest needs. We also have an in-home care program that serves Summit County, as well as a behavioral health program currently working with the Blick Center to serve older adults in Summit County. Welcome, we're so glad that you're here today. So one of the topics that we're going to discuss today is something that's actually personally near and dear to my heart. I know I say that all the time, but if it affects seniors, then it's true. And that's hunger and food insecurity. And so we're going to be talking to a very special guest that I have heard a lot about, but have never personally met. And I met her like 5 minutes ago, so I'm so excited to talk to and introduce you to Sandy Hinkle. And Sandy is the Executive Director at Feeding Medina County. Thank you for being here with us today, Sandy. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks
so nice to meet you. Absolutely.
Good to meet you too.
So I understand that Ohio's food insecurity rate is higher than the national average. Is that true?
It is true.
That's kind of shocking.
Or almost, I believe, the last I read was third in the country for the largest cities having the most food insecurity.
Wow.
And here in Ohio, actually, it's three of our largest cities that are higher than other places. Yeah.
That's discouraging. I often think of Ohio when I drive around this great state where I was born and raised, as we're surrounded by farmland and plenty, and yet there's still people that don't have enough food.
Right. Rural often promotes poverty, and people don't see it that way.
Right.
When I think about that.
Right. So tell us a little bit about Feeding Medina County and how you're helping to feed families in this region locally.
Well, we are the only organization that does exactly what we do, and I like to, not just in Medina County, but I almost want to believe in the state of Ohio and possibly even in the country, because we saturate all of the and the needs when it comes to hunger or food insecurity. So we're most known, we do a couple programs and then we do several other things on the side, but most people understand our mission when it comes to children, and that's what people know us for, our Weekenders for Children program, where we are providing weekender bags for children who are on free and reduced meals. And we actually service all 32 elementaries in the county, 4 Head Starts, the Developmental Disabilities School, and then a couple preschools on top of it. So it's 32 in all. And every week we are packing 1,000 bags for children who are on free and reduced meals, so that they take this great white bag home with them on Fridays, and there's enough food in there for them to eat over the weekends. It's 3 full meals and snacks, and the menu changes every week, and the food inside is phenomenal. There's always at least 1 full family meal in that bag, because we know if the parents are going to cook the meal, then the kids are going to eat. Right. So we do that, and we do that year-round. As I said, we're serving 1,000 children every single week. Last year we packed almost 38,000 bags in a year, and the cost of that program is about $150,000 a year. Wow. We also feed seniors, and this is where it becomes near and dear to your heart.
It absolutely does.
It's 1 in 5 children in Medina County that are food insecure. And by the way, that's all ages, so it doesn't just mean it's elementary, it's all children. It's about the same statistics for our seniors, 1 in 5, 1 in 6. So it's about 20% of our senior population who is food insecure. And by what food insecure means is that they just don't have access to nutritious food as often as you and I do. So for a senior, how that plays out is they get a Social Security check, and the Social Security check starts to run out after about 2-3 weeks. And then the decision becomes, do I eat, or do I buy my prescriptions, or do I buy other needed items? So our Staples for Seniors program services 400 seniors who live in low-income housing. And by the way, we're county-wide, so we're not just focused in the city of Medina. So across Medina County that we know of, and I say that because we don't always know these hidden places. We actually just stumbled across one about 6 months ago and are servicing them now, and they're out in a farm area that nobody even knew that this place existed. So we provide our seniors a little different type of food. The kids get 3 meals and snacks. The seniors get about 30 pounds of food. Actually, today was we packed on Friday, on the third Friday for our seniors, and that Friday, and then today, the fourth Monday, is when the senior food goes out. We have 12 facilities across the county. There's 400 seniors that we're feeding at the moment, and as I said, they get about 30 pounds of food. So for the seniors, though, I can give them perishable items that I can't give the children. So they get high-grade meat, and by high-grade, I mean all of the meat that they get is donated from the 4-H auction. So it's prime meat. And during Fair Week, I'm in the auction barn. I ask people to think about donating the meat back. Last year, at the end of the auction, we received 20 hogs and 9 cows and a number of other animals. And then I work with the processors, and we have that packaged in 1.5 pound, 2 pound packs at the most. And it's a variety of meat. So they're getting meat, they're getting produce, they're getting cheese, they're getting eggs, they're getting fruit, and then they get a bag of shelf-stable food. So that's the difference in how we feed the kids and how we feed the seniors.
I often compare the challenges with food insecurity for seniors and children in that they both have a lot of the same barriers, in that it's access to food. If you're homebound as an older adult or have any type of transportation barrier, it's difficult for you to get out and about to find the food, just as it would be for a child to have the transportation access.
Well, the nice thing about the Staples program is that it goes to their facility. So here in Wadsworth, today, there's 3 facilities that are getting food from us today. And what happens is the food gets delivered, and by everything we do is done by volunteers. Every single thing we do, from the packing to the transporting to the unloading to the distribution. So today that food went out, and what will happen is they'll lay it all out, and then the seniors will come down, they sign a paper, and then they go through the line, and they take, it's kind of like shopping, but it's shopping right there on site, so that they don't have to worry, as you said, about going out. So for a lot of them, this is a huge blessing, because they don't have a means of getting out to go grocery shopping. And so those are the 2 programs that we do. We also do a couple other things. We have a truck that goes twice a week and down to Akron-Canton Regional Foodbank and picks up orders from 24 other food pantries across our county. So it could be a pantry here. There's a couple of them here in Wadsworth that call in their orders. They have their own distribution in their own neighborhoods. So we want to make sure that everybody has the food they need. So we pick up their food orders, we take it to them, we unload it, we take it in, and we want to make sure that they have what they need when the day comes for their distribution. There is no charge for that, even though we're using our truck and our insurance and gas and everything. We also have a community garden, which over the last 2 years has produced 5,000 pounds of produce. And that produce goes directly out to the senior centers. It's earmarked just for the seniors, just like the meat is that we get at the auction. So too is the produce, because if we can help our seniors eat healthier, then we can help them live longer and have a happier lifestyle all the way around.
It's about choice, giving them that choice so they can age at home. If they have the resources they need, then our older adults can stay in the communities and remain active and vibrant and engaged.
So we do that, and we do a couple other distributions throughout the year. We do a huge distribution once a month at the fairgrounds, third Thursday of every month. Starts at 7:30 in the morning, and we will unload about 20,000 pounds of food from Akron-Canton Regional Foodbank, and we start distributing at 7:30. By about 8:30, we are done, and we've serviced about 125 families at that time. So, and some of those people coming through that line, so it could be close to 50% are seniors, and some of those seniors, there's a percentage of them that are seniors who are raising their grandchildren. So that's a whole nother thing.
New population that's growing rapidly in all of our communities in Northeast Ohio. We're seeing a lot of that because of the opioid issues in the communities that a lot of grandparents are raising grandchildren.
Right.
It's tough. So you have a lot of volunteers. You and I were chatting briefly before we sat down today, and I said, well, let's get all involved with Retired Senior Volunteer Program. And you seem to be all full up on volunteers. You don't hear that very often. Tell us about your volunteer corps.
I hate to say we don't need volunteers because that's a terrible thing to say. We run on volunteers. There's only 2.5 staff members, full-time staff
doing
members.
all that work. That's
doing everything that we do,
Sandy.
Yeah, and we clock. I have probably around 400 volunteers, one way or another, throughout the year, because everything we do, from our truck drivers to the people that pack, to the people that we have people that do food drives, and then we need our volunteers to look at every item and shelve it, and so all our repacks things, like we'll get pasta from Sandridge, and we'll get a huge Gaylord full, and that all has to be rebagged. So everything we do is volunteer driven. So I have probably about 400 volunteers a year, and they clock about 8,000 volunteer hours a year.
Wow.
And I don't want to discourage anybody from ever trying to get into our facility. I just say keep trying, keep looking. They can go to our website, and we'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But there's a number of things. Our community garden, we have a planting day the end of May, and we need a lot of hands for that. But then throughout the whole growing season, we need people to weed, water, pick, all those things. Everything that goes out, all of the bags, imagine 32 schools needing, each school has to have their own delivery system. So in Wadsworth, that happens in a number of ways. Some community or some city schools like Brunswick and I believe, no, not even Wadsworth, Brunswick and Cloverleaf and Buckeye have their own one-person pickup. But all the rest of the schools, I need volunteers to do that. So there's always things that people can do. And I don't want to discourage anyone.
No, absolutely. We always need volunteers for everything we do at nonprofits. Yep. So wonderful. We'll direct people on how to get in touch with you later on in the show. So tell us a little bit more about how, with these weekender bags, how you get funding for those, because you're telling me over $100,000 a year. $150,000 a year. I'm still processing that number for these weekender bags for the students. So how in the world do you fund that?
Interestingly enough, and you can brace yourself for this one, the only funding we get, the only funding is $42,000 a year from United Way. And that is earmarked it can only be spent on food for children. So everything else, we get no federal, no state, no county, no city funding. Everything else comes in through the generosity of the people in our communities. So we are totally reliant on people making donations and attending our fundraisers and things like that. It's almost unheard of. I've been there almost 6 years, and when I started, we were at about $200,000 budget. We're approaching close to $1 million now. And we recently, about 1.5 years ago, moved into a 7,000 square foot warehouse because we were in a 2,000 square foot building that had 10-foot high ceilings and was not conducive to us being able to buy food and store food. Mm-hmm. So now we have a forklift and we have a warehouse, but all of that takes money.
Sure, it does.
The utilities, the overhead, the fact that truck goes twice a week and picks up, it takes gas and it takes insurance and
repairs.
Yes. Yeah, we're just getting new tires on it this week, I believe tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So everything we do is really driven because people's hearts believe that nobody should go hungry, and especially the most vulnerable populations. Children and seniors.
Yeah. So you have a fundraising event coming up that I've heard about.
We do.
I'm a little disappointed I didn't get my ticket.
You should. Well, I understand that. You and other people.
Yeah.
Yes, Breaking Bread on Bourbon Street. Matter of fact, it's the only fundraiser we do. We do one fundraiser a year, and this is it. Other people do fundraisers for us. Farm Bureau does this amazing Seasons Harvest once a year, which is an amazing event in and of itself. So if you didn't get your tickets for this, start looking in May for those tickets, because they only sell 125 of those.
Okay.
And it's a great event. But Breaking Bread on Bourbon Street is, as I said, it's our only opportunity to get ourselves out there, and we promote ourselves. And it's held at the Galaxy, and this year it's March 7th. And we'll start at 5:30 with the hors d'oeuvres and people browsing Bourbon Street and looking at all the great auction items that we have. And then we start at 6:30 with dinner and go right into the live auctions from that point. And as I said, my goal this year, I'd love to raise $150,000. I'd love to be able to say we've paid for the weekenders with this event. Last year we were pretty close. We were about 120. So,
okay.
So who knows? Hopefully this year. You are right. We are sold out, though. We sold out actually last Thursday, and I have a lot of disappointed people.
But look at the big smile on your face.
Calling me at home.
That's a good problem to have, Sandy.
It is. It's never happened.
Yeah.
And I say, and people tell me it's the best fundraiser around, because we have fun. We make it a nice, quick evening. It's not painfully long. You get a great dinner. It's held at the Galaxy. David Cavalier does an amazing job. He's always so good. I mean, his food is tremendous, and the setup is great, and it's a great cause.
Sure. And a fun theme. It's all about a good party theme.
It is.
And you brought with you today something to share with everyone that helps with your fundraiser.
Yeah. So what this is, and we ask the high school kids across the county, since we have 7 districts in our county, we ask the art teachers who work with the high school kids to have their class make pottery bowls. And so these are coming in fast and furious as I speak. And so we'll have about 200 of these bowls that have been made by the high school kids. And they're I mean, some of them are so creative, and they're just so beautiful. And this one was, this is one from Cloverleaf, so which just came in the other day. And then what we do is we ask the children who get the weekender bags to fill out this little teeny tiny thing, and it doesn't. We don't want their last name. We just want, their first name written in it, and it says, "What I like best about my bag is," and then it's up to them. And then thank you, and then from whoever it is, the job that has written it. So this one, I just pulled this out of the bag before I left. What I like best about my weekender bag is I like that the food helps my family for dinner. I have some that are tearjerkers.
Yeah.
We don't have food, and now we do, was one little girl said last year. So the cost of this bowl and this priceless little card that you're going to get is $175. And the nice thing about this is that $175 will pay for one child for a whole year to get a weekender bag. And that's the purpose of these bowls this year. So we are sold out. However, I will probably have bowls left. And if people want to come into our office and get some bowls or pay for a bowl to sponsor a child, they'll be able to do that. And I'll give them both a bowl and a card that they can take. Now, I do want to say, actually, somebody brought this up to me. This person last year bought several and said she gave them away as Mother's Day gifts.
Oh.
And I thought, what a perfect thing to do.
Yeah, because then that gift was making a difference in a child's life.
And it makes it's not like giving the flowers or the usual Mother's Day things.
Right, it's a great gift.
So there's plenty of opportunities to support the gala, even if you can't come. If you can't come this year, though, I advise you in January to start looking for your ticket next year.
And if you're interested in these bowls to support the pantry, you can call 330-421-4816, and they will get you connected if there are any of these bowls available after the event. And for more information about their additional fundraisers through the Farm Bureau, be sure to visit feedingmedinacounty.org for more information. So Can people get involved with the gala outside of attendance? Can they make a sponsorship or?
Yes, actually, I'm glad you asked me that because it's not too late to sponsor either. And we have sponsorship levels from $250 all the way up to $10,000. And this is the first year we actually got a premier sponsor of $10,000. 3M is our first time $10,000 sponsor.
Wow, thank you 3M for supporting Medina Hunger.
They're amazing, you know. All of the businesses in our community are amazing how they support the nonprofits and they take care of us. So yes, people can just simply go to our website and they can donate right online and they can just put in sponsorship in the box. We've closed the registration down for Breaking Bread, so the drop-down box won't say sponsorship, but they can note it right on the website. There's a box there, and it can just say whatever their donation is and sponsorship. And we're happy to take any and all sponsorships at this point in time, so don't think it's too late.
Nope, it's never too late to donate.
No, obviously, everything goes right back into, you know, this fundraiser really doesn't cost us much of anything, so it's paid for in the ticket prices and for the meals. So everything that people give is going to go right into the cause, which is nice. And I appreciate any and all support, no matter how little. I have to tell you that there are times that I have gotten donations from seniors who get our food, and it's It's $5. I've gotten, you know, a $10 check from somebody and says, thank you for the food, it's such a blessing, you know. So even the people that receive this feel that it's so impactful that they want to make sure that they support it. So if they can do that, we can all do a little something. Right. You know, we have basic needs, just the basic needs: food, shelter, and safety. And if we don't meet those, then no matter what we do, we can put all the resources we want out there, but if we're not taking care of the most basic needs, then nothing else really does matter. And we do have this percentage of our population that goes hungry. For some of these kids that take home these bags, that's the only food they're going to eat over the weekend, and probably throughout the week as well. You asked about how do we support ourselves. I just wanted to put this plug in there. This past year, J.M. Smucker Company made a donation to Feeding Medina County. Once a month, our children get peanut butter and jelly, and that's a huge cost item for me because, by the way, we buy 100% of our food. The food that we give the children and seniors, for the most part, comes out of our pocket. We purchase that because it's all the same food. So providing peanut butter and jelly was about a $3 cost item in a bag, and that was only one meal. So those bags were averaging anywhere from $6 to $8 a bag, which is pretty expensive if you're doing 1,000 of them. So J.M. Smucker Company decided that they would donate peanut butter and jelly this year. I wasn't sure how much when we went out and had the conversation. And then I found out that I asked for 10,000 jars. That was enough to feed the kids through the school year. So that's what they donated, was 10,000 jars of peanut butter and 10,000 squeezable jelly. And then a few weeks later, they donated another 10,000 cases of Jif soft chew bars to put supplemental. So every week the kids get a whole box of those bars in their bag. So when you talk about, you know, how do we survive, this is how we survive, people in our community who do things for us like that. And that has made such an impact. The savings with that has allowed me to buy graham crackers to put in that bag, because I can't assume the kids have bread at home to put the peanut butter and jelly on, but now they at least have crackers. Right. And Women's Endowment is another great thing. Got a grant from them last year, and with that grant, we buy fresh fruit one time a month and put it in the children's bags. So last week, or a week and a half ago, the children got 6 of the little tangerines in their bag. And
Wonderful.
the kids love it because
Sure.
they don't get fresh fruit at home.
Absolutely. So it is because of the generosity of the community that you're able to do all of the great work that you do. Thank you
It is.
so much
Thank
for
you.
everything that you do to feed the most vulnerable and marginalized in our population. I know that this means the world to everybody here in Medina County. And we are so grateful that Sandy Hinkle from Feeding Medina Pantry?
No, county.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Feeding Medina County. Got all
We
the
are
way
a food
through
pantry,
without a
but-
flub,
yeah.
but it's a free pantry. Had time to come and chat with us today. And if you need more information, please visit their website or give us a call at 330-421-4816. And I'm sure Sandy and her team of 400 volunteers will be happy to assist you if possible. Remember, we're not growing older, we're growing bolder. Thanks for joining us with Vantage Views.